All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode on Airway Trade. All right, welcome. It's currently Sunday. It's a new week. Currently Sunday here in Nigeria, 22nd of March, Sunday. So, hope you are all having a wonderful weekend, and I hope you are all ready for this new week. This week is full of wonderful opportunities. I have some interesting market analyze. So let's get on to it. First pay I'm looking to take is GBP USD. I was simply looking to sell this market last week as at the break of the zone. Okay, but if we come down to the weekly, let's do a top down analysis on this. On the weekly, last week this market was at a very solid support and resistance zone, which if you go back to my previous video that I made on Friday, I made mentioned on US GBP USD having a high chances of bouncing up from this zone. This zone I'm having we have a breakout out of the zone. A proper retest, will be proper. So that retest is currently what we are having, and on the weekly I'm liking this rejection on the weekly already. We have this beautiful rejection which I like already. So and we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. This area has acted more as a resistance. You can see this zone right here. We had multiple rejection, 1 2 3 4. Okay, we had this breakout retest to the upside. Then we had this rejection, as a resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. So this area right here, it's a very clean support and resistance zone. And now that we have this breakout, I'm looking forward to this retest. So the daily is already giving us something really, really interesting. This is the daily lower low right here. This is the daily lower high. So on the weekly we are also bearish. On the daily we are bearish. This has been our lower low, lower high, and daily has given us this beautiful um, candle formation. Now on the daily we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. Whenever we are above this zone, we are buying, retest. We are using it as a support, support, resistance as the zone, support whenever we are above as a support, whenever we are below as a resistance. All right. So this market is very straightforward, very self-explanatory. And on the 4 hours, we are bullish on the 4 hours. This being our higher high, this being our higher low. So what I'm waiting for right now is for this market to pull all the way to the zone, give me a breakout. As at the retest, I'm looking to go in for a sell for GBP USD. I'm looking to sell GBP USD next week. The next market I'm interested in is Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD another interesting pair. Like I mentioned last week, that Euro USD has a high chance of bouncing off from this zone. If I also take a counter trend, this will be the counter trend. All right, I just don't like trading. I just don't like counter trending. Okay, so on the weekly we are bearish on the weekly. This has been our lower low, lower high. All right, and now we have this breakout. Now we are having a retest of this zone. Once we have that retest is what I'm looking to take. All right, so we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. We're at a very clean support and resistance. Whenever we are above, you're buying. You're using it as a support. Whenever we are below, as a resistance. Whenever we are below, as a resistance. Whenever we are above, as a support. Coming down to the daily. The daily also is also bearish. The daily is bearish. This has been our lower low. This has been our lower high, and you can see daily is already giving us a beautiful candle formation right there. This has been our lower low, lower high, and we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. Very clean support and resistance zone. Like I mentioned last week, we have a high chance of bouncing off of this zone, retracing. Now we have this breakout. So the retest, we are looking to enter for a sell to the downside. On the 4 hours, 4 hour is bullish. This has been our higher high. This has been our higher low. So waiting for a breakout retest to sell to the downside. That's it for Euro USD. The next trade I'm looking at is GBP AUD. GBP AUD. This is the only pair that is not really that that is that solid for me. but it's at a very clean zone, at a very clean support and resistance zone. Whenever this market gets to this zone, it's always bouncing off, and we have had a couple of rejection on the weekly. So we might have that weak fill this week, and I'm looking to enter on that weak fill. We might have that weak fill, or we might have this market just simply retracing to the upside, which is also good. All right, but we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. All right, resistance, support. Whenever we are below this area, we are using it as a resistance. Whenever we are above, we are using it as a what? As a support. Support us at this zone, support us at this zone. So are we going to have this market pushing to the upside, or we are simply going to have this market push to the downside? On the daily, we are also bearish on the daily. This has been our lower low, this has been our lower high. So what I'm simply waiting for is a breakout of this zone retest for me to go in for a sell. All right, so on the daily, whenever we are above, we are using that support, you know. Whenever we are below, on the other hand, we are using as a resistance. So on the 4 hour is bullish. 4 hour is bullish. This has been our higher high, this has been our higher low. So what I'm waiting for this market is for the 4 hour to give me a shifting structure. Once I have that breakout giving me a shifting structure, as I do retest, I'll be going in for a sell. Pretty simple, very straightforward. So the next trade I'm interested in is USD CHF. USD CHF, very interesting pair. You know, USD CHF has been selling for a while. All right, had this massive set to the downside. And what are we having here? We are having a left shoulder, we are having a head, we are having a right shoulder. Now we have this breakout. All right, now we are having a good retest. All right, retest. A head and shoulder pattern is not considered valid until we have that breakout. All right, let's say if this candle had stopped here, then it is not considered a head and shoulder pattern because it hasn't clearly broken out of that zone. Now it has broken out of the neckline, closed below. All right, now retesting it, it's good for a sell. Now if you see the weekly is already giving us a beautiful formation, which is an indecision candle right here. All right, then we are at a very clean support zone. This market has used this area for a support. All right, so coming all the way to this zone, to this area, the last time this market got to this area was in August 2022, August 22, 2011, you know, many years ago. So a few years ago, so we had this breakout retest to the upside. We have used this area as a support. So this is a very clean support zone, a very solid support zone, and we had this beautiful rejection on the weekly. Now we are having weekly indecision right there. So are we going to have, now let's go down to the daily. On the daily, the weekly, we are bullish on the weekly. Mind you, we are bullish on the weekly. This has been our higher high, this has been our higher low. On the daily, we are bearish on the daily. The daily, we are bearish. This has been our lower low on the daily. This has been our lower high on the daily. Now we are having this retest. All right, so on the daily, we are also having a clean head and shoulder pattern, although we are having multiple left shoulders, multiple right shoulders. Now we have a breakout. Now we are having this retest. So as at that retest is where we are looking to go in for the sell. And also on the daily, we are having this beautiful formation already. So on the daily, the last time this market got to this zone, the last time the market broke out of it, we had the same. Okay, so the market broke above again, use it as a support to the upside, came back, use as a support, and have this aggressive move to the upside. So without being told, you know, this area, it's a very solid support zone. Okay, now it's acting, we just want it to act as a resistance for us to sell this market. All right, so right now it's acting as a resistance. Once I have this breakout of this zone, once I have this breakout close below this area right here, as I do retest, I'll be going to a sell. On the 4 hour, we are bearish. On the 4 hour here, we are bearish. This has been our lower low, this has been our lower high. Okay, we are bullish on the 4 hour for a while. We're higher. This was our higher high, higher low. So we had a new higher high. This was now our higher low. Now we have this candle body close below this higher low. Now we're having lower low, lower high. Now we have a new lower low, lower high. So what I'm simply looking for right now is a continuation. I'm just waiting for this market to break out of the zone, a clear breakout of the zone. As I do retest, I'll be going in for a sell. Alright, that's pretty much it for this week. If I'm not mistaken, I have total of 5 markets. Okay, that's not it. Euro AUD. Euro AUD, we brought this market from all the way from last week. I was looking to sell last week. Okay, we are still bearish on this market. This is our lower low. This has been our lower high on the weekly, and we are at a very clean support and resistance zone. It's a very clean support and resistance zone. Whenever we are above, we are buying. Whenever we are below, we are selling. On the daily we are also bearish. On the daily, this has been our lower low, this has been our lower high, and we are at a very clear support and resistance zone. Whenever we are above, we are using it as a support. Whenever we are below, resistance, support. So right now this week, what I'm looking to do is simply looking to sell this market. Now we are having this as our higher high, as our higher low. All right, so I want this market to give me a shift in structure, but I don't know how it's going to do it. If it's going to come close all the way below this zone, or if it's simply going to what. But mind you, before it does that, I already have my 1 to 4. I'm waiting right now for this market to give me a breakout. As I do retest, I'll be going in for a sell. Very straightforward, simple, self-explanatory. So that's pretty much it for this week. Euro AUD is the last pair I'm looking to trade this week. All right, so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. Okay, last week I was able to take 1 trade, and that was a loss. So this week I'm focusing on taking at least 3 trades. Let's see if we can get one, 2, or 3 trade. All right. So let's see. Hope you are all ready for this week. I'm wishing you a beautiful week, a profitable week. All right. Stay tuned for my next video dropping on Sunday. If you are new here, click the like button, click the subscribe button, so you can get more update like this. All right. Watch out for my next video that will be dropping on Sunday. That will be dropping next week Sunday. Okay, to be a market update. Hope you all like this video. All right. See you all next week. Peace out for now. Enjoy the rest of your week.